GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good night, Montreal.
GMNA, a local nonprofit that supports young adults transitioning out of the province's youth protection system, says an increasing share of its members are now sleeping on the streets. The organization reported that many graduates who must leave the system at 18 lack any guaranteed housing or ongoing case management. Without stable shelter, these youths are at heightened risk of chronic homelessness. GMNA is calling on municipal and provincial authorities to expand dedicated housing resources and wrap-around services for this vulnerable cohort. The group highlighted that the current safety net, designed for minors, ends abruptly at adulthood, leaving former wards without the supports that prevented street entry. Officials have not yet detailed a response. Provincial Child Services data indicate that youth homelessness has climbed by about 10% in the last 2 years, underscoring the urgency of closing the support gap.
Construction on Atwater Avenue's water mains has run past its original schedule, extending service interruptions across the neighborhood. City engineers say the delay stems from unexpected pipe conditions and the need to replace aging infrastructure. As a result, officials are urging residents to maintain reduced water use while crews continue the work. The citywide water-saving campaign, launched earlier this year, remains in force, with daily limits reinforced in the affected area. Neighborhood associations report that pressure drops persist, prompting households to limit showers, defer laundry, and fix leaks promptly. Water Montreal, the agency overseeing the network, will conduct weekly inspections to ensure safety and compliance. The municipality promises regular updates and stresses that the extended timeline is necessary to secure reliable service for the long term. Residents are asked to monitor local alerts and keep conservation habits in place until repairs are completed.
Hydro-Quebec announced today a revision to its residential rate schedule that would raise charges for the roughly 5% of households consuming more than 35,000 kilowatt-hours annually. The utility said the proposed increase targets the top tier of electricity users, aiming to align rates with consumption levels that far exceed the average household. Under the plan, customers in this high consumption bracket would see higher per kilowatt-hour prices, while lower usage families would keep current rates. Hydro-Quebec officials noted the move is part of a broader review of the province's electricity pricing structure, seeking to ensure cost fairness as demand patterns evolve. The proposal will be presented to the regulator for approval later this month, with any changes slated to take effect in the next billing cycle if endorsed. The regulator, the Régie de l'Énergie, will hold a public hearing in August to gather input.
Hydro-Quebec launched a massive hiring drive today, aiming to bring on 35,000 paid workers across the province. The utility says the surge in new transmission lines, renewable energy sites, and remote region projects has outpaced the current labor pool, prompting the unprecedented recruitment effort. Positions range from skilled tradespeople on construction crews to technicians maintaining infrastructure in isolated northern communities. Applicants will be offered competitive wages and training programs designed to fast-track them onto critical projects. The campaign will run through the coming months, with regional job fairs planned in major centers and online portals to reach candidates in both urban and rural areas. Hydro-Quebec hopes the influx of new staff will keep its expansion timetable on track and support Quebec's broader energy transition goals. Officials stress that filling these roles quickly is essential to maintain reliable power supply and meet rising demand from both industry and households.
Yesterday, a mass email from the local school board was sent to an undisclosed list, exposing the personal details of parents with children at Rossmere High School. The message contained names, telephone numbers, and email addresses that had not been authorized for distribution. Board officials confirmed the breach and said the email was mistakenly attached to a routine newsletter. An internal investigation has been launched to determine how the data was stored and why the safeguards failed. Parents have been urged to watch for any suspicious activity linked to their contact information. The board announced plans to upgrade its digital security protocols and to provide staff training on privacy handling. The incident has sparked broader concern about the board's data security practices and how student-related information is protected. The board also said it will cooperate with any oversight bodies reviewing the breach.
Later, we'll see how over 200 northern forest fires are raging, and 900 firefighters are battling the blaze. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got the latest headlines, and now Reid takes us to the local stories you need to hear.
More than 200 forest fires are burning across northern Quebec today, prompting a massive response that now includes 900 firefighters and additional crews drawn from other provinces. The scale of the blaze marks the most intensive summer firefighting effort the province has seen in recent years, with resources spread over remote terrain and limited road access. Smoke plumes are already drifting toward southern regions, raising concerns about air quality for residents commuting to work and school. Authorities have warned that the haze could linger, prompting schools to keep windows closed and outdoor activities to be limited. The coordinated effort aims to contain the flames before they threaten infrastructure, while the sheer number of active hotspots strains both personnel and equipment. Officials continue to monitor conditions and adjust strategies as the situation evolves.
Former CAQ Minister Pierre Dufresne announced yesterday that he will abandon the party he served under Premier François Legault and run as a Liberal candidate in the upcoming fall provincial election. Dufresne, who represented the Abitibi-Témiscamingue riding, said the governing coalition has failed to address the specific concerns of his region, and that the Parti Libéral du Québec offers a more responsive platform. Party leader Charles Milliard welcomed the former minister, noting the move strengthens the Liberals' presence in northern Quebec. The shift comes as both parties gear up for a tightly contested election scheduled for later this year. Premier Legault has not commented publicly on Dufresne's departure, leaving the CAQ to reassess its strategy in the north. Voters in Abitibi-Témiscamingue will now see Dufresne on the Liberal ballot, a development that could reshape the political dynamics of the region.
The 16th Montreal Comic-Con is in full swing, drawing sci-fi, comic book, and gaming fans to the city from Friday, July 3rd through Sunday, July 5th. Organizers say the weekend features a lineup of stars including actor Jason Rockman and creator Deborah Arbeck, who are scheduled for panels and signings. Attendees can explore new releases, compete in tournaments, and browse vendor booths that showcase the latest collectibles. CBC News reports that the convention has become a staple of the local pop culture calendar, offering families and enthusiasts a chance to meet creators and try interactive experiences. With 3 days of programming, the event continues today, providing a vibrant weekend for anyone looking to dive into comics, movies, and video games without leaving town. The venue hosts more than 30 panels across multiple stages, and a dedicated gaming arena where visitors can test the newest virtual reality titles.
Thursday's violent thunderstorm ripped through the north suburbs in a fury that lasted barely 5 minutes, yet left a trail of downed trees across streets and yards. Strong gusts toppled dozens of mature oaks and maples, blocking driveways and snapping power lines that left many households without electricity for hours. Emergency crews arrived by late afternoon, working through the night to clear debris and restore service. Several main arteries, including Boulevard St. Laurent and Rue de la Côte, were temporarily shut, delaying morning deliveries and school buses. Police advised motorists to exercise caution. Residents reported scattered branches littering sidewalks, creating hazardous conditions for pedestrians and drivers alike. The sudden intensity of the storm reminded locals that even brief weather events can cause significant disruption to daily routines, from school commutes to grocery trips. Utility workers continue to assess damage, and municipal teams are prioritizing cleanup on the most affected neighborhoods.
Yesterday, a Montreal judge granted a temporary stay on the city's move to revoke the operating permits for American Iron and Metals metal recycling plant in Montreal East. The injunction halts the revocation while the court reviews the matter, leaving the facility's status in limbo. The city has been locked in a protracted dispute with AIM over compliance issues at the plant, alleging violations of municipal regulations. AIM maintains that it meets all safety and environmental standards and argues the revocation would disrupt jobs and local waste processing capacity. The judge's order does not resolve the underlying conflict but suspends any immediate shutdown, meaning the plant can continue operating for now. Neighborhood residents will see no immediate change in collection schedules, and trucks are expected to keep servicing the area as usual. Both parties are expected to present further evidence in the coming weeks as the legal proceedings continue.
Now let's turn to the weather team for a look at tonight's conditions across the island.
A powerful westerly jet aloft is cementing tonight's clear, stable air, while pressure climbs toward a ridge. On this date, the all-time high tops at 34.2 degrees, recorded back in 2018 during an unprecedented heat wave that pushed the city into the upper 30s for several days. The record low sits at 13.1 degrees, set in 2021 when a sudden Arctic dip slipped south, snapping temperatures well below the usual winter baseline. By contrast, the climatological average for July 4th hovers around 26 degrees high and 19 degrees low. So today's 28 high feels warm but not record-breaking. The live radar sweeps clean across the province, no rain echoes from the southwest, and no lingering echoes over the St. Lawrence. With the jet stream blasting westward at 175 kilometers per hour, any moisture would be sheared out before reaching the island. The lack of return signals confirms a dry, high-pressure envelope that will hold steady through the night, letting us move into tonight's outlook. At 11 p.m., the city sits under a clear sky, temperature 22 degrees, humidity 52%, and a moderate southwest breeze at 11 kilometers per hour, gusting to 23. Pressure is near average and nudging upward, sealing in the dry air that has been building all day. Over the next 12 hours, the high-pressure ridge will dominate, keeping clouds at bay and suppressing any lift that could generate showers. By sunrise, the temperature will have climbed to 28 degrees, then drift upward to a peak of 28 before slowly descending after sunset to a low of 16. The UV index reads 8, and with wind remaining below 25 kilometers per hour, there are no weather alerts to note. That stability sets the stage for the 5-day outlook. Looking ahead, Sunday will remain dry with a clear sky, high 27 degrees and a low of 15. Monday repeats the sunshine, pushing the high up to 30 degrees while the night cools back to 15. Tuesday stays warm, high 30 and a low of 20, and the atmosphere stays stable enough for another clear day. Wednesday nudges the mercury to 31 with a low of 20, still under a persistent ridge that locks in sunshine. Thursday breaks the streak. A weak frontal wave will introduce partly cloudy skies and a 40% chance of rain, though highs stay near 31 and lows only rise to 21. The pattern shows a gradual warming trend before a brief cooling splash at week's end. And that's your weather. Remember, the wrap is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, traffic updates, a look at tonight's concert lineup, and a preview of the Canadians in action. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
And now here's Jason with sports.
A big night on the pitch and a Habs move that turns a page. The Montreal Roses FC put on a show in Northern Super League play Saturday, dismantling Vancouver Rise FC 5-1. Evelyn Badu was the story, accounting for 3 of those goals herself, a dominant hat-trick performance that powered the Roses to a commanding result, according to CBC Sports Soccer. A chapter closed in Canadians' history earlier this week. Montreal dealt veteran forward Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for future considerations. The move, reported by CBC Sports NHL, marks the end of Gallagher's run with the organization that drafted him. Before his trade to Vancouver was announced, Brendan Gallagher received a remarkable honor. The city of Montreal named him an honorary citizen with a ceremony held at City Hall. A fitting tribute to a player who gave everything to this city, according to CBC Sports.
In the cobblestone heart of old Montreal, the World Cup fan zone buzzed with the rhythm of drums and the scent of fresh mint tea. A group of young Moroccans, led by 17-year-old Youssef and his friends, transformed a modest plaza into a vibrant home away from home. They unfurled bright flags, set up low tables piled with homemade briottes, and invited passers-by to join the celebration of Morocco's 3-0 triumph over Canada. As the match ticked toward the final minutes, the crowd's chants rose in unison, echoing off the stone facades. When the third goal slipped past the Canadian keeper, a burst of cheers erupted, children leapt, and a lone saxophonist began improvising a jubilant riff that seemed to lift the whole street. Strangers hugged, phones flashed, and the sense of belonging felt as palpable as the summer air. That shared gasp, that collective lift of spirits, reminded everyone that sport can stitch together cultures, turning a simple watch party into a memory that will linger long after the final whistle. It's moments like these that keep Montreal's heart beating together.
On a Saturday morning on St. Laurent Boulevard, the aroma of ground beans drifted from the open windows of Café Parvis, drawing a line of regulars and tourists alike. Inside, barista Maya Laurent was polishing a copper espresso tamper when she received a call that would ripple through the neighborhood. The call came from the committee behind the world's 100 best coffee shops, confirming that Parvis, along with Café Olympico on St. Denis, Café Saint Viateur in the Myland, and Café L'Avenue on St. Catherine had secured spots on this year's North American shortlist. The list, compiled after months of blind tastings and site visits across the continent, highlights establishments that marry quality beans with community spirit. In each shop, the ritual of grinding, tamping, and pouring is performed with a precision that rivals a watchmaker. As Maya lifted the freshly poured crema-topped cup, she caught the reflection of the committee's email on the stainless steel counter, a simple green checkmark that meant world to the team. It's a reminder that a well-made cup can put a neighborhood on the map, and that the people behind the counter are the true ambassadors of Montreal.
Thank you, Montreal, for tuning in to The Wrap. Tonight's look at the rising youth homelessness risk highlighted a vital community challenge. Stay safe, keep an eye on the skies, and join us tomorrow for more stories that matter. We'll bring you the latest updates from across the city. I'm Peter Miller, signing off.